Today is January 31st, 2011. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about internet dating sites. You got sites like, let's see, Match.com, OkCupid.com, PlentyOfFish.com, and interracialmatch.com, blacksingles.com, Black Planet, Asian Friend Finder, Friends, I don't know, there's all kinds of internet dating sites. So my problem with some of them is like, for one, some of them charge like ridiculous amount of prices. eHarmony used to be a site where it's like no matter what you put, for some reason they couldn't find anybody for you or something, and it was like they just kind of dismissed your profile or whatever. Then they fixed it and changed it or something like that. But it used to be like nobody could get on eHarmony, let alone find somebody to search for them. But fix that. And sites like OkCupid and PlentyOfFish.com, which are free sites. OkCupid is a kind of a fun, more fun because it has lots of tests and quizzes, and I think a lot of way that they match people is by your answers to the questions. So, and the more questions you answer, the higher percentage your match possibility. So if you answer like 2,000 or something like that questions, then you got a pretty decent chance just by seeing how if you can think alike. Basically, that's basically seeing if you think alike. So it's a question asked. Do you support a woman's right to choose? And you say yes, and they say no. Then they say, okay, well maybe these two people won't match up so well, or whatever. They obviously have different things, whatever. Or if you say, do you believe interracial marriage is wrong? And you say no, and they say yes, and obviously that causes problems. So that's how they tend to base that on that, because they don't really ask you any like questions. Like on Plenty of Fish, they ask you like a bunch of questions, those personality question type thing, where they give you like a personality type to ask that type question, which has a percentage chance of work, and which doesn't. The problem with a lot of the sites is that they really don't. In the United States of America, we have a problem with racial profiling, with racial stereotyping, and none of them really kind of encourage to look beyond color lines and stuff like that. That's the one problem I would say that I notice a lot, because if you're a black male and you have interests in this, that, and that, chances are, no matter what, people who are not black will not probably give you as much attention, not because there's something wrong with you, but because there's stereotypes. How can they fix this? Well, one thing is to put out articles and essays or things that they have talking about debunking sort of stereotypical myths and stuff like that. Because they always put out articles and things like that anyway about the percentage. I remember on OkCupid they said that the one race and gender that was most likely to respond to correspondence was black females. Like they are the most likely to write back. If you email or write a black female, she's most likely to write. People who are least likely to respond, I think, were like Asian females. I think I could be wrong. And then it was talking about how the preferences was like the white Asian women prefer white men or Asian men. White women prefer white men, and I think maybe Latino or something like that. And black men had like very preferences across the board. And it was just kind of sad and pathetic, considering how it's like 2011, and you would think we'd make some progress, but this country has so much history with racial tension that I think it would take a lot for that to kind of go away. I think it's making improvements step by step, but it's so much history. It's a lot of the older generations that still have a lot of stereotypes and negative portrayals and opinions that still influence the younger generations, they would have to like basically die, drop dead, which hopefully they will do soon because time's a ticking. And then a new generation under this type of diverse cabinet and presidency and government would have to be born and continue to have that sort of influence on society. It really does make it, to me it makes no sense because we are all essentially the same. I mean, basically, like I have very interest. My friends are so diverse: black, white, Asian, Indian, whatever the fuck. It's like they all across the board. I like everybody. We have the same interests to be all of that. Judge me by the content of my character, not by the color of my skin. As Martin Luther King once said. So I mean, that's one thing that I think is a problem. I remember another thing. A friend of mine once said, "Oh, I don't know if I can trust a man, or I don't know if I would date a man who wouldn't," cause talking about the free sites, who would not pay for a dating site. And I was like, okay. I guess I could see how that would make sense, but to me that's kind of stupid because, to me it shows that the person is smart if they would rather not waste money on something stupid like that. That's, to me, is dumb. Like, all should be free. Does it cost money if I go up to you out in the street and walk up to you and say, "Hey, how you doing?" No, that don't cost money. Maybe the fucking dinner afterwards or some shit like that, or the movies, that might cost some money. But for me to go up to you and be like, "Hey, how you doing? What's your name?" And I noticed you from across the way. I just want to say, that shit don't cost no money. So why should I have to pay for access to people from in the local area or around the world or whatever? That to me is dumb. It's just so the free ones, I think, to me that's a smarter way to go. The rest of them is like you're paying for nothing. You're essentially paying for this. It's like a waste of money. I was on Match.com a long time ago, and I don't think I ever met anybody off that site. At all. Really anywhere. I mean, you get out of it what you put into it. I mean, really. And I know women complain a lot about getting emails from like old like perverted men, or or a lot of sexual messages or something like that, which I think is probably much harder for a woman than it is a man to be on these things. Because I think women probably have more to sift through. Men have to actually do a lot of the initiating. It's very rare that a woman be like, "Hey, whatever." Which to me is kind of funny because we live in this modern times and women talk about being independent and all this shit, but you can't come up to me and say, "Hey, how are you? I think you have a nice smile. Would you like da 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 da?" No, it's still up to me. It's still up to me. I still gotta pay for dinner. I still gotta fucking initiate everything. I still gotta fucking. Nah, I mean, we're equal. We're on the same level. You're smart, intelligent, strong, and so am I. And so we can both have the same, vantage point. But I think women, they get a taste of what it's like to get rejected. And it's like, that's the shit we've been going through for years. "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, okay. Yeah, now you see how that shit feels. It feels like shit. But, you let it roll off your shoulders and you keep on going. So that's my whole spiel about the internet dating sites. I think that some of the best ones are OkCupid.com, Plenty of Fish, and maybe Match.com. I'm not sure. It depends on what you think. I think the free ones are better just because at the end of the day, when you ain't found no damn body, you don't feel so bad about spending $19.95 or $20 or whatever the hell you spend, or $39.95, whatever the fuck you spend on that stupid shit. So that's my whole thing. So that's all.